Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
Hey, Fitheads. Hey, Max.
How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
It's a long one. A long fantastic.
I used to go back in Boston. I used to go to my barber, and he'd say, "How you doing?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, you know, whatever," because that's how I felt. And then I'd go, "How are you doing?" And he'd go, "Fantastic." And for years, I was wondering, like, was he doing fantastic, or was he just saying that?
Does he say that to everyone, or are you special? Like,
oh yeah, no, he was always doing fantastic, but he was a fantastic guy. So you know, it's hard to say. That was part of his job. That was to make you make you comfy for an hour.
Having a good day.
A B+ haircut.
Yeah, he's just a professional people person.
Yeah.
That happens to touch your head.
Eye by the time I was still.
What?
But you know, it occurred to me that I wasn't going there for the haircuts. I was going there for the 40 minutes of like sitting in a basement where I didn't have any cell service and like just sort of joke around with like an old Italian guy, and yeah, that was what I was paying for.
Love it. So was it more that like you guys just had good banter, or was he a great listener? He had good stories. Which direction was it going?
I mean, he was a master. He could talk your ear off, or he could sit there like a therapist and just sprinkle in some knowledge from the old country. You know what I mean?
That was a good barber.
Yeah, it was the perfect barber.
I pretty much consider my barber still my mother. Mm-hmm. She cut my hair into high school, and I don't have anyone now. I guess I should just fly back home. It's been a while.
You don't get haircuts?
This is my COVID hair. The last time was definitely pre-COVID. I should just shave it and then wait till it gets this length, then shave it again. Do as little haircuts as possible.
It sounds like it's the season for dramatic haircuts. Brittany just chopped off like half of her hair, and you can't shave the side of your head because then you guys will be matching.
Oh no, I know you can't. That will not work. It's funny because people will be like, "You guys are twins," and the only thing Christine can say is like, "No, I have an undercut."
Right. So you should do a mullet or shave the top of your head. It's called a friar tuck. You shave the top middle of your head, and you just let the sides go real long.
Perfect.
And then, you guys are fit like a puzzle piece. You know what I mean?
Love it. So we have an episode, I guess, that kind of relates to this. Now that things are opening up, you can get a haircut now. You can also possibly get on a plane without fearing the bad things happening.
What you just got on a plane? How was it?
I did. That I think is what inspired this episode. Well, I just got back. It was like flying on a plane, but imagine you're on the plane and then this part of.
Okay, I'm on the plane.
Okay. Now.
It sucks.
Sucks. Smells bad. You had to take your shoes off earlier. Dude is fat next to you. Okay. Then this part of your face is covered.
Uh-huh.
That's what it's like now.
That's it?
That's it.
Are they still doing the middle seats open?
No.
I
know.
That I flew a couple times in COVID and it was really freaky.
Mm-hmm.
But that was awesome to have the plane be 2/3 capacity or whatever. That was amazing.
We also now have proof that they don't need to pack them that tightly to make money.
Yeah.
I always thought it was like, I heard somewhere that if they had one seat empty, that the plane was losing money on that flight. That's a lie.
Yeah. I don't know if I can trust the airline industry after they've made our seats smaller and smaller, then started charging for bags, and started giving me, a bag of peanuts from 1989 as like a dinner.
Lucky you got peanuts. The guy next to you is allergic. They didn't even do beverages on this flight I was on.
Well, it was only like an hour, right?
Yeah. Like 90-minute flight. It's also not long enough to nap,
Uh-huh.
So I couldn't just like sleep deprive myself and then pass out, which is generally one of my tactics. I wouldn't say that's a health tactic. That's like a survival on a 5-hour flight tactic.
I tell you what I don't like doing. I don't like drinking on flights. And that that apparently shocks a lot of people.
This
'Cause
is shocking to me.
I like drinking.
This is my shock face. Yes.
I do like drinking, but I don't like drinking on a plane. And I think it's because it really dehydrates you. I don't feel very good. Like I get real drunk real fast because the altitude and the all that other stuff. But then I get like, but then with that, my hangover also comes really fast.
Mm-hmm. And
And I
you're
also like,
trapped. You're just like
yeah,
stuck in a seat.
exactly. When I'm drunk, I don't want to like sit quietly in a chair. You know, I want to like get up and dance or like go do stuff or like watch a couple of street races or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Whatever
want to
you
like
do
sit quietly
when you get drunk.
like a tiny chair and be like, excuse me, could I have some more peanuts, please? Thank you. You know, like it's so dumb. So I don't. But people love. Do you like drinking on a plane?
No, I'm a special case. I feel like I don't even consume food on a plane, but that's like a thing. You just get drunk before the flight and during.
Well, I mean, now we're diving right in because one of the things that I've realized is growing up, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I used to get really seasick and car sick and air sick,
Really?
motion sickness. I had
Yeah.
a real bad motion sickness issue.
Roller coasters?
Roller coasters were no bueno. I rode them, but then I puked immediately. On a plane, I puked like 9 or 10 times one time from Boston to Florida. Boats, oh my god, boats! I would just like, I would either lie down in the dead center of the boat like a dead guy, or I'd go to the top and I'd like surf the opposite. So if the boat is rocking,
Yeah,
I
you
would
try
like
and stay
lean the
center.
opposite way for hours and
Would it
just
help?
stare at the horizon. And it helped in a sense of like eventually I figured out how not to puke.
Is
But it
that
was years of me being sick and sick and sick. And it was
Yeah,
awful.
I feel it's crazy that you're saying this past tense. So like you just taught yourself not to throw up.
I taught myself not to throw up. I also physically got larger. I think that helps a little bit. At least on the boats, it helped a lot. And I figured out what not to do in car. Like on a car ride, I can't look at my phone at all. I
Sure.
have to look at the horizon a lot of times, or I have to look straight ahead. I have to regulate my breathing, and um, I know that like a couple of times I've taken bad shots at a bar and like I'd be like, oh, my stomach is like, oh, time to throw up, and then I like flex it and hold my breath in a weird way, and I'm like, nope,
No
nope,
way.
and then it stays down. I like tamed my stomach. It's
That's your
bonkers.
superpowers, not puking.
It's like the worst superpower of all time, but yes, yeah, it
You
was a
and
nightmare.
Kobayashi.
But yeah,
Wow.
so I sort of got over it. Flights, I'm okay now. I can even have a couple of drinks on the plane. But to my earlier point, I don't like drinking on a plane because I don't want to get sick. And I realized that when I dehydrate myself, or if I'm not overly hydrated on a flight, I feel pretty crappy as soon as I land into the next day. Um, so for me, one of the biggest things is super hydrating. And yeah, I don't like eating a lot on the plane either. I feel like that kind of messes me up a little bit. But I drink a ton of water, maybe some soda water if I'm feeling real wild.
Getting crazy.
Yeah, but not a lot of booze because it dehydrates you. And I make sure to drink a lot of water before, like the night before, the morning of, during, and after.
Oh, you're like pre-hydrating. You're anticipating
Pre-gaming, yeah.
the flight. Interesting.
Because it
Yeah.
just, I know how much it can take out of me. I mean, at this point, it's probably I'm like overdoing it, but
Then the seatbelt sign comes on and you freak out because you got to go to the bathroom.
yeah, yeah. Well, you got to tame your bladder just like you tame your stomach.
Just
No.
flex.
Yeah.
Who's in charge here? Yeah, that's a
don't-
decent one. I don't like drinking on flights either, which is so dumb because it seems like it'd be fun. I guess it depends on who you're traveling with too. Like
Mhm.
if I am trapped in a seat, it's completely tolerable if it was you and me. We actually got drunk on a flight together once.
But that was the whole point of the flight.
The event
know what I
was
mean?
the flight. Let's just tangent onto that because that was crazy.
That was so much fun. That was awesome.
Yeah.
We were there was a show called LA to Vegas.
I'm
Which was on
surprised you remember that.
Fox.
Okay.
And it was what's that guy's name? Dylan McDermott. God, he is so funny. He was the pilot. Remember?
Yeah. Sure.
So it's a show. It's a sitcom about the flight from LA to Vegas, which is
Full of hoodlums like
Yeah,
us.
hilarity ensues. So to promote the show, they put us all on a plane and flew us from LA to Vegas and got us hammered drunk. Uh, and that was it, right? That was the whole.
Well, no, we spent like we partied in Vegas that night, and then they flew us back the same day. So we've flown to Vegas and back in one day,
Yeah, that
which
was
is nuts. So
bonkers.
they played the show on the flight. That was probably the first time that I've ever been drunk on a plane, actually, which is funny
That
because
was
it's so
fun.
common. Yeah, it was a blast.
But I remember at the end of that, I felt pretty run down. I gotta tell you.
And there was like, what is it, jet lag? We're in the exact same time zone.
Yeah, is it jet lag? I mean, it's just also another thing. Sidebar: whenever I think about stuff like that, I'm like, my body was not made to be 35,000 feet in the air. You know what I mean? My body was made to be on the ground. I don't even think it was made to be in salt water for that long. For the sake of this argument, my body is like, here's the earth, here's the dirt, stay there. Sand, okay. 30,000 feet, like, what are you doing? So I always think like, man, I wonder how much my body is messed up just by being this high in the air.
Think altitude makes a difference? I don't know. It feels so okay. Does. I went in an altitude chamber at Bulletproof Labs, and they take you up and down and up and down, and like that quickly. Like it's like going up 30 seconds
like an
and you're
elevator,
like up a plane. Yeah, but like plane height. Yeah, but you're just sitting there. You don't even go up. It just changes the pressure inside the thing. And so getting in, I was like nervous about it. Like I'm gonna feel woozy or like feel anything.
Doesn't that kill you if you do it with the like when you're scuba diving?
Yeah, you get the bends. I don't know how.
Maybe that's water pressure.
I'm clearly they're doing it in a way that's not unhealthy, let alone supposedly healthy. Anyway, it didn't feel like anything. Like my ears popped or whatever. I just.
Did you smoke any cigarettes by chance?
And bring on a gun? What?
No, because yes, that's a good question too. Has anyone touched your suitcase while you were standing here? The reason I ask is I was in Denver. Denver is the Mile High city. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but that is a real altitude.
Oh.
And a lot of like football teams play really crappy in Denver because they all like run out of they run out of cardio. They're all sucking down oxygen, blah blah blah. Kickers, the field goal, you can kick it like an extra 10 yards. Like so the altitude like plays a big deal
that's crazy,
in that game. So I was in Denver and visiting my friend, and another guy goes, "Oh, this is your first time in town. You should be careful because the altitude's really going to mess you up, especially if you guys go out drinking." And I was like, "Okay, guy, I think I'm fine. I'm already in drunk. College." So we went out drinking, and he was right. I was like getting drunker faster.
Wow.
And I had one, like half of a cigarette. Knocked out. I was on the ground, not on the ground. I was like on a couch, couldn't like sit up. I was all pale and woozy, and I'm like, wow. And it really was. It was one cigarette and the altitude. I'm sure it was the 19 beers I had before then, but like it did hit that way. So now I'm paranoid about altitude. For sure. What? So you were just standing in a tank?
Yeah, you just sit there. It's like this capsule thing. And they just take you up and down. They show a graph of like what you're doing.
Did they like track your blood pressure?
I don't know. Something about your cells compressing, or I knew about this. I'm going to go watch my own YouTube video explaining it because now I forget.
But my favorite pastime, watching my own YouTube videos.
Which I did for this podcast too, because I made one about traveling fitness. Nothing in it I do anymore. It's just funny.
Really?
I had all these habits for when I travel that I gave in this video, like 10 different tips, and now everything's changed. I don't do those things. 10? Not that they're bad. Yeah, it was stuff like
what happened?
Like I used to pack bell peppers and tomatoes, and since then I found out like on my levels that bell peppers are like I really get a spike from them, so I stopped eating them. I complained about how expensive beef jerky was at Hudson News, and now I'm just like, screw this, I'll pay for it. I'm not packing anything.
Well, okay, but let's unpack the first one. You were packing peppers and a tomato because that was your
That was my
thing
snack.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And I would
you
like,
were packing something that, so you could still do that.
I could
You just want to
still.
pack something that you know will like settle your stomach or
Right.
like be
Yeah. It's
able
something
to.
that I can eat that isn't Chick-fil-A or whatever that's
Right.
happens to be closed in the terminal anyway. It seems that
Yeah.
every time I go to the airport, stuff's closed now too.
Oh,
All the restaurants and
oh,
things because of
that's
COVID. They don't have the
oh,
restaurants open. Yeah.
interesting. That's annoying. That's actually
So
really annoying.
yeah, but not for
I
me. I
find
fast
that.
now.
Oh, so you fast? Okay. Well,
Yeah, I just ended a
when
40-hour
don't you
fast because
fast?
I was
You're just
traveling.
fasting all the time. When have you eaten this month?
I run on air.
L.A.
We're
air,
human.
the the cleanest air we got.
It is freeing though to be like not reliant on whatever's open and try and have to scrounge for something or
No.
pay too much for beef jerky that has a bunch of sugar in it. Like I can just be like, well, I'm immune to having to eat. I
Yeah,
will do it at a time when it is more convenient. I'm getting on this flight.
I think that's a glaring example, but the more general one is like fasting. Like if it's noontime or 1 o'clock, I have this mental freak out of like, oh my God, I have to eat or I'm gonna die. And then that leads you, like you said, in the airport is more exaggerated, but that still leads in a more general sense. Like that's when people cheat on their diet, or that's when people are like, oh, whatever, screw it, I'll just go to McDonald's is right there.
Yeah.
That's easy. But
Yeah, and I used to have sorry, go ahead.
but you don't actually have to eat
No.
lunch. You won't die.
You won't even slow
You
down your
know, you'll
metabolism
be
in that short
mildly
amount of time.
uncomfortable for
Yeah.
20 to 40 minutes, but
But the more you do that, the less
that's
uncomfortable
it.
you'll be too.
And the more you do, the less uncomfortable. But the more you do that, the more mentally aware you are that it's not. It'll pass.
Yeah.
You won't die. That is a freeing. As much as I like sort of scoff at fasting, I mean, I've done it. You do it all. You do it 24/7. But the fun thing about a fast is when you realize you skip a meal and you realize like, oh wait, I I didn't die. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm alive.
For all of our audio listeners, he checked his pulse there.
Yeah. So I think that's a fun sort of little experiment. And then it's exactly right. You're not sort of chained essentially to I have to get a full meal, like a protein and some veggies and some, like whatever, or a full sandwich and some chips and some fries, like and a soda, like skipping a meal is a freeing thing.
And it used
One
to be that
thing,
I was grazing. I would get that freak out feeling every 3 hours because I was concerned my metabolism would slow down. That's why I would pack so much stuff to travel. I'd always need I was so reliant on what I did eat and having it. It was like I was trapped because I was so concerned. Turns out I didn't need to worry.
it's a mental, yeah. I would say for all the listeners out there, skip lunch.
Breakfast.
See how you feel. Well, nobody eats breakfast. Skip lunch.
Oh, so we're skipping. We already assume we've already skipped breakfast. That's great.
Are you
Most important
okay.
meal of the day.
Quick sidebar. Of the meals, which is the best meal?
Which one has cereal in it?
You like cereal?
You don't like cereal?
What? You like cereal? Like
Yes, I am
milk?
4. What are you, 40? At 4 to 40 to 400 years old, cereal is good.
Cereal is a big miss for me. I will take a hard pass on cereal. I was saying more generally, I think breakfast is like one of the weaker. Like scrambled eggs are pretty good, bacon's pretty good.
That's
Toast
it
is
though.
good,
That's what
pancakes,
breakfast option
waffles.
is.
I'm sure that stuff is all good. But like you're telling me a waffle is better than like an Italian sub, or like pancakes are better than a steak, you know what I mean? Or like scrambled eggs versus even like a chicken Caesar salad or something like that. Like lunch and dinner just crush breakfast.
Yeah. In general, like the size of a breakfast menu is always significantly smaller too. You have that limited amount of things.
Yeah. Some scrampy eggs. Like
or
cereal?
sugar.
Cereal's like, ugh. What kind of cereal do you eat?
None. I don't eat cereal. Look at me. I do not have the physique of a person that eats cereal, but I like it. I would say, I don't even know if they make this anymore. Rice Krispie Treats cereal. That would be my favorite. That's how long ago I've eaten cereal.
That was a good one. Do you like milk? Do you drink milk?
I do like milk, but I do not drink milk. I don't drink my calories unless I'm getting wasted.
So I love cereal. I haven't had it since 1989, but yeah, sure.
I mean, I guess I could have changed my opinion on it, and I don't know because it's been so long.
Anyway, so skip what were all right? So you skipped breakfast just because that's how you do it. Skip lunch. Realize that you don't die. If you're feeling really bad, have 3 dinners. Who cares? But the idea that you skip lunch and you won't die is a freeing thing.
Yeah.
Although on the other hand, you got to be careful. Like I remember getting into trouble because I would, like I'd be working on a video or something, and I would skip breakfast, lunch, and then dinner rolls around, and I'm skipping that because I'm just, typing. And then I'm like, man, I have this headache, and like, I feel weak, and I'm so tired. And my buddy's like, when's the last time you ate? And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Once your body's starting to burn fat, probably. Yeah. Well, that's exactly what happened to me last night. I got off the flight, which I was not eating on. And then it was well past lunch. I started working and then went to order Chipotle. And by the time I sent checkout, they're like, Chipotle is closed because it was past 10 or whatever. And I was like, well, guess I'm going to fast for 48 hours. And then I worked out and did this podcast.
That is brutal. Yeah. The one thing I do like about the airport, I hate how they'll have like a Burger King or whatever, or McDonald's. Yeah. And a Whopper is normally say like $4, and in the airport it's like 11.
I've never noticed that. That sucks.
And you're like, I know the price of this one. Yeah. And I know that you're ripping me off.
That's like reasonable in a baseball stadium though, for some reason. I'm like, well, I'm looking at baseball, that's fine. But in an airport, that's infuriating.
A baseball stadium. Yeah.
Shut up. What are they called?
A ballpark. What I do like about the airport, however, is the airport bar is phenomenal. It is one of my favorite, even though I don't drink a lot.
So what do you land the plane and then go to the bar at your destination?
I would if I could, but normally my flights are like I have terrible times. But the airport bar is amazing because there are people that are getting off, multi-leg, stop. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from, Russia, Australia, who knows? And so they're just cracking beers, and you're like, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. What?
Not for me.
Yeah, I'll do one. I'll do one. They're like, hello, wie geht's? I'm from Germany. This is a good German beer. And you're like, yeah, man, keep them coming. Some tater tots while you're at it. And they're like, we don't have tater tots. We have peanuts. I'm like, yeah, totally.
Man, you should have come to Clamor. We could have drank on the plane on the way. This is making me want to actually be drinking.
Yeah, I was a little up in the air about it. But Brittany had to. Brittany booked a commercial, and then I had to film a bunch of stuff here too. So
with her new hair,
really just out of it. With her new half the length that it used to be hair.
How's your relationship going? Because generally women cut their hair when they're not happy and want something to change. Not that I'm saying that.
That's true, but normally that means bangs. So.
Oh right, that's true. My mom always said that to me. She was like, "Do you want to cut your hair or do you want to change your life?" And I'm like, "Ooh."
Did I tell you that or did you tell me that? Because I remember I had a hairdresser friend who told me that exact thing, and so now every time someone gets like blonde to jet black hair, I'm like, "Did you break up with your boyfriend?" They're like, "Yes."
Going through it.
We've all been there.
I'm just trying to show how well adjusted I am because I haven't cut my hair in ever. Look at those ends. Lovely. Again, our audio listeners are missing out on this grossness. All right, wait, back to travel or whatever. Beef jerky.
So 1, no beef jerky. 2,
no, yes, beef jerky. Well,
yes, beef jerky.
I was going to eat.
No water.
No water. Oh, that's another thing. I used to pack a water bottle and then refill it because I'm like, I'm going to save money. And now I'm like, I don't want to carry this water bottle everywhere. I've now prioritized just not dealing with that and buying a water bottle there. That's what, as soon as I get to the airport, I buy a water bottle instead of packing one.
It's expensive, but it's worth it.
I think I'm an adult
really
now.
want to pack light. I find that the lighter, I used to take a bunch of stuff because I'm like, oh, I don't know, what if I need this? And now I'm the total opposite. I'll like pack stuff. I'm like, I know I like kind of can wear this shirt like during the day and then out at night.
Inside out.
Yeah, exactly.
Next day. It's just an active
But I don't,
choice.
I pack as light as I possibly can.
Okay.
I try, like, shoes is a big one. Shoes to me is the toughest one because they're they're
Take so much
heavy.
space.
They take up a lot of space. So
you gotta wear the workout shoes, pack the nice shoes.
Yeah.
That's
put your socks in your shoes in the suitcase. Big time space.
Oh, okay.
So what do you do about workout stuff?
So this, again, I would love to be just like agile and adaptive, but I over prepare and plan ahead. I find every CrossFit gym within a 5-mile radius. I call them and make sure that they do open gym when the times that I can be there. I make an Evernote of where they're located and what their hours are. And I confirm that I'm going to be able to get to a gym wherever I am.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
I usually rely on the hotel gym. I found that I can get enough done with even just dumbbells at this point. I mean, I can do weird stuff that's hard enough with a couple of dumbbells, and usually they have like dumbbells and like a pull-up bar, and past that I can get a pretty good workout in, and then past that it's just sort of fluff, you know, or bonus stuff.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. The place that I went on this past trip for this climber convention I was talking about, their gym was closed because of COVID, which is crazy. Everything was open. I think they just didn't want to clean the gym, so they're like, no, we're still closed. So I had to find another place. But I will say, in past times, I've definitely done 300 push-ups in my hotel room. I've traveled with those J-Flex hooks that you have. And I always pack a jump rope. Because worst comes to worst, I can do jump rope Tabatas and get my heart rate to like 180 like that. And just like know that I can at least get in a pukey HIIT workout anywhere.
Can you jump without a jump rope?
I've seen a thing where it's just like a handle with a string and a ball, and you flip them so they're kind of the weight of the jump rope, but you never jump over it. Yeah, there's something extremely stupid about that, or just doing without the jump rope. But it's also the difference between doing single unders and double unders. Double unders, I will throw up in my shoes. Single unders, and it's like I could do this forever. What is this?
Literally like, forever. Yeah.
It's just like a warm up before boxing.
Yeah, I need my pigtails in and my
It's crazy because double unders, I'm like two seconds in and I'm just out of breath. So that's, I think, the importance of having an actual rope is to commit you to double unders. Double
unders are a lot harder than single unders. It's one of those weird, stupid ones.
And you
like
get
when someone
if you screw
like
up.
pull-ups with your hands facing away versus towards you.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I can do 1,000,000 pull-ups. And you're like, yeah, man, that's not the right.
That's a chin up, actually. So. Yeah. I mean, and another one, wall walks. Love that. Even before there was the famous wall walk double unders CrossFit workout in the open this year, I would do those and to just leave like a streak of my socks going up the wall and back down again. But you can do that anywhere. The only thing that sucks is like being face down in a hotel carpet that you know is
gross.
Yeah.
Super gross. Best case scenario, it's bed bugs.
Yeah. Not gonna think about number 2 case.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, my go-to movements, I guess. Turkish get up is always a good one. Obviously. Well, if I have the dumbbells,
suitcase?
then I can do it. Like I'm talking about like in a crappy hotel. Like I've been in some crappy hotels where the gym is like just a
treadmill and elliptical.
You're right.
Then you can still do sprinting Tabatas, which is awful.
Well, usually, what if the treadmill like is a human powered treadmill?
Self-propelled? Oh no.
Those like don't work. So you're just like, okay, never mind. So I'll do A Tabata is your best bet there, just because it's so easy. There's a million bodyweight Tabatas on YouTube that you can just crank out that are
Yeah.
all okay, and you can make them harder if like you work harder.
Right. Oh
Obviously.
yeah, just burpee Tabatas. Like get
Burpees.
8 in
I
20
remember telling
seconds.
somebody, who was I
Keep
telling?
it
I
up.
was like, oh, you want to work out? Here, just jump. Jump as high as you can, as fast as you can. I'll tell you when to stop. That's a tough
Max is a
workout.
personal trainer now.
Or like jump like chest or knees to
He
chest.
needs to chest. Sucks.
You're just jumping like an idiot. But
Yeah.
then six jumps in, you're like, what is happening right now? This is insane. This is nuts. And then your downstairs neighbor calls the front desk and they're like, yeah, I think he's murdering someone upstairs, or maybe he forgot his jump rope. I'm not sure. Or his skip it. But yeah. So I think you can get away with a lot of stuff, but yeah, I would say Turkish get up, burpees, jump, literally jumping. I do like wall walks. I do quiet burpees is a really nice one. Like you do a burpee as quietly as you can.
Oh, that is all chest. You're just like lowering yourself down nicely. Huh.
And you have to like pinkies out on everything for some reason, but you don't know why. But you do it anyways.
Interesting. Do you do the workout thing? Okay, I've heard this from like, I don't know, Tony Robbins to The Rock. Everyone that's high performing, Tim Ferriss, is like, you land and you're in a new time zone, and whatever time it is, you go to the gym and you get a sweat on.
So I
And
have heard that too.
That gets rid of your jet lag.
Supposedly your jet lag immediately disintegrates. But you also have to, yeah, you salt bay your jet lag. So you have to work out, sweat, and then I think you have to go to bed right away, right? Or
Sleep after working out? That doesn't sound right. I mean, I do that all the time, but I'm an idiot.
I thought that's what it was. But anyway, I find that I don't do that as much as I used to. I believe it, but it didn't hit that hard. I do find that sweating after like if I drink and I'm hungover the next morning and I sweat, my hangover is just gone.
Gone. Bye.
So I think that it sort of lines up like that. So if you can break a sweat and then take a shower, you feel a million times better. I do. I feel that way a lot.
Well, here's my secret. Land wherever and sleep. I'm not kidding. Like, sleep on the plane, sleep when I get there, and then like sleep till 11 p.m. if you can. Just like get blackout curtains, put a shirt over your face. Like, try and get 8 hours wherever you are. It makes such a difference, especially because when I am traveling, I'm drinking and being reckless to my body and my eating. So like that's the only way I can stay in it and function as a human, is to get way too much sleep. And no one even thinks about that when you're traveling. It's just like, oh, we're here, we got to get up and go do stuff. No, be unconscious till like noon.
And you're on your feet all the time. You're walking a lot more than you normally would. You're like exploring,
carrying stuff.
Stuff. I find that what I do with that is I like build in, if I have an hour to spare, I'll like go back to my room and lie down.
Oh, nice.
And then usually if I'm good, I'll try to formally sleep versus just sort of lying down, playing on my phone. That's a big one too, is if you can take a formal nap. We used to call it formal sleep because, lying in your bed under the covers with your eyes closed, that's sleep. But lying on the couch in your full clothes with your one foot on a coffee table watching TV or whatever, it's it's restful, but it's not sleep. It's not rest, So try to just put in an hour, 45 minutes or whatever to take a formal nap. I find that helps a lot, especially when we're traveling. And because you're right, you are like the stuff that the conventions and stuff we used to do, you're go, go, go all the time. But even in a regular vacation, you're kind of like, yeah, we're here. We got it. Yeah, of course we should go see the biggest ball of yarn in Nebraska. Like it's there.
Third biggest, actually. Yeah, but it's so crappy to do that when you feel like crap. And if you can like stay on it, just get enough sleep, that like it will be so much more fun and you can do a lot more and drink a lot more.
Yeah. So this is, now we're essentially, is that more to combat jet lag, or is that to like feel like good while you're there? Do you
I
know what
think
mean?
it's to combat like being out of my habits. It's to like keep up with all of these changes and all of this different food and timing that I'm not used to. If I can at least get that sleep to stay the way I have it in my day to day, then I feel like I'm on top of it. And if not, I'm a wreck. That's what sucks. I feel like I sleep so much now that I'm like reliant on it.
Yeah. All those sleep apps and all this stuff, like now that we're all tracking our sleep and we're doing sleep debt and I'm tracking my HRV and my resting heart rate and all this stuff, like now I am really paranoid.
Yeah.
Very paranoid about stuff like that, but it's
Yeah,
good. I
but
mean,
sometimes I like these because it's like I'll wait. Like when I was traveling, I woke up being like, "Uh-oh, I'm like really messed up. Nothing about yesterday was what I'm used to." And then it's like, "Yeah, you're fine." I'm like, "Yes, thank you. Watch, I'll believe you this time."
right. So there should be a setting that you can put on your watch that's like turn on placebo mode.
Yeah, right. Just tell me I'm okay.
just tell me I'm good for the next couple
Because
of
I'm
days. Otherwise,
gonna
I'm
have to get through this anyway. Might as
screwed.
well.
So you call CrossFit gyms
Ahead of time.
bonkers.
When I walk into a CrossFit gym, it's always, "Hey, I'm the one that called earlier and I had all the questions." I'm like, "Yeah, come on in. It's you." I just need to make sure because also CrossFit's like a hard one. They're usually like a community of people that like to do the same workout together, and that's not me. I just want their weights. I just
Right.
want to do my
I'm
own
just passing
thing.
through and I need a barbell, please. My
Right.
barbell wouldn't airlines lost my barbell,
Yeah. Again, man.
That's a nightmare. I find though I really like um if I can sort of splurge on a hotel. I like doing that because it usually will have a better gym.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll even have like a gym with a steam room or a sauna or something like that.
Ooh.
Or I don't need a spa because then they want me to like buy a massage package or like a
Like a
hot
mask.
stone or
Yeah.
cucumbers on my face or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I just need to sweat in a room. If you can make that happen,
You might want
that'd
to
be
clear it
great.
out too. It's not going to smell the best.
Yeah. Oh my God. On wrestling trips, we used to be just nightmares. We would, because we'd go on these trips and then we'd have to get there and people would have to like lose a couple pounds, sweat out a couple pounds.
Yeah.
So that was actually really hard because we would have to pack an extra couple of sweatshirts or whatever because I'm like sweating through my clothes and
Yeah.
that stinks. And so yeah, I'd have to pack this huge bag.
Were you
And so we
flying or
get
bus?
it was usually bus. A couple times it was flying. Um, the furthest I was in Hartford. The furthest we ever went was like Cleveland, I think, or no, we did a couple in Minnesota. Anyway, so a short flight or a long bus or whatever.
Mm.
But we're bringing a lot of bags, and then as soon as we get there, we just we just all of us sweatsuit up, rubber suit up, and just bolt right to the poor, pathetic hotel gym. And we're all just jogging around in our sweats. And what you do is like you'd put one guy on the treadmill, and then another guy would just hold on to his back, so he's got like a human backpack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're gonna break this treadmill, and we're like, yeah, who cares? It's not ours. Just chugging along. And some poor guy, like on his business trip, like wants to pop in to get like a workout in. He's like, never mind. So we used to do gross stuff like that.
That's messed up. Ugh. But yeah, just like pain bonding with. I'm sure you're really close friends. It sounds like so fun being miserable together.
Yeah, it really does make you close, and it's tough if the guys on your team end up being your very best friends, and if they're not, that means you really can't stand them because you.
Yeah.
We went through like some bonding stuff, and if I don't like you after this, we're not getting along.
Right, and you're still stuck together. Eesh.
Yeah, it's not the best. I'm sure it was like that with ice, being an ice girl.
Dancing.
Ice dancing.
Definitely. No, not ice dancing. Dang it. No, competitive dance. We would travel and we were close and we would, go to class every day together. I'd see the same people and we all had the same goal. And in fact, we had to physically do the same thing as each other, which I think there's like a mental aspect to like physically syncing up with someone that also emotionally bonds you more than you trying to beat a dude at a wrestling
Oh, so you're like mirroring each other?
Right. The fact that we're
And
trying
so then
to,
you're like mentally, oh,
yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't thought about that.
I mean, it's subtle, and I don't think that we actually became like weird group thinkers, but like there is an element of like we are all so in sync that we are that tight. Yeah, that
Name three
close.
of your dancer friends. Where'd you go?
Brittany, Lindsay, Krista. I feel bad
Oh,
because
amazing. That's
because
great.
the other ones that I didn't mention. Wow, what if they're watching? There's no way they're watching. Actually,
No.
I
Well,
doubt.
we'll just send it to them afterwards and be like, you made it.
Guess what? They're all runners now too. That's a thing.
Oof. Runners.
Dancers turn into runners.
Are they runners or are they prancers? That's the real question.
Prancer-sizers.
So what do you do about food? Do you, well, I guess we already answered. You just don't eat. You stop
Well,
eating.
on the actual flight day, no. But I have thought about this because this is just like a general like restaurant choices thing that's helpful because you're usually going to a restaurant when you're traveling.
Mhm.
Is that it'll be a burger with a lettuce wrap, or Mexican food is really easy to do because you can get like fajitas, and that's just like steak and vegetables. And then you can even say like, instead of rice, I'll have the mixed vegetables, and they're like usually Mexican places are great about that.
Yeah,
Beans,
and
high
it's
fiber.
also separate. Like all the sauces are
Mhm.
separate, and all like there's a huge jug of sour cream that you can just like sort of ignore.
Not right, exactly. So that's that. I'm a big fan of those types of things, and you gotta, I mean, get the salad instead of fries. That kind of replacement stuff. But it's possible to stay on track. I generally
I
end up
like,
under eating when I
yeah.
travel. You know what I mean? Because it's like, well,
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
yeah, the stuff I'm having is, unhealthy, but it's still less than I should be having. So I usually like end up losing weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really am a big fan of stopping at a grocery store if you can.
Ooh, that is a baller move.
Because you get like a huge jug of water or a bunch of waters or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you get a
Greek yogurt.
handle of vodka. It's gonna last you the rest of the week. And then you can get like whatever snacks you might need, or because what's stupid is you want like a banana, but I'm not calling room service
right
for a banana, and I also don't want to go get in the elevator, go all the way down to the lobby, go find a Starbucks, buy a banana, go all, a $7 banana.
Or when you try their clothes, that happened to me like all this past week. It was like 11 o'clock, was hungry, and nothing was open.
Yeah,
that's a bummer.
So I really do like hitting the grocery store, although it depends on what you're doing and how you're traveling. But
and if you have a mini fridge,
if you can, and if you have a mini fridge, yeah, that's a good point. But if you can, really try to do it. I know in Vegas what they tried to do was some of their mini fridges now, it's not just a fridge with like bottles in it. It's like a mechanical holder thing, so they know when you take a bottle out, and so they charge you for it. But it also means you can't like push them in and put more stuff in.
Stuff in there. Yeah. Ugh. Completely
so they're like, no, we gave you a fridge for our stuff only. So apparently what guys do a lot is this is disgusting. They take they'll get like a bunch of beers and a bunch of ice and just put all the ice in the bathtub, and then just put all the beers in the bathtub ice box, chest, ice tub. And so then for the rest of the weekend or whatever, you have like a mountain of ice and beers. Only that ice only lasts from like Friday, and then Saturday it's like half ice, half water. And then Sunday, it's like mostly 100% water.
You probably jumped in it after you worked out.
Yeah, of course. Just dunk your face real quick. Yeah, I've never done that. I've never like ice bucketed. I know a couple of my friends love filling up the ice bucket, half ice, half water, and then putting their face
just
in.
The face,
like
yeah. That's supposedly the 80-20 on that is like face, armpits, crotch. The stuff that's like really sensitive, if you just do those parts, you'll get almost like close to the effect of your whole body, but whole body is intense.
Are they sensitive, or that's just where you have all your heat?
I think both. I don't know. I guess it's probably like maybe it's the blood vessels ending, and also the fact that it just shocks you more than like you'll get that glucose response or something. I don't know.
I mean, that most of your heat is armpits and crotch and and
Face.
I think it's
I
head,
don't know if it. Yeah,
but
head.
more
That's it.
face. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I know the hardest one of the hardest things I've ever done was the polar plunge, and that was in freaking Santa Monica. So I can't imagine
Ugh.
doing that in a cold place. I honestly thought I was gonna die. I had several moments where I was like, who is going to pull my dead body out of this freezing water? And a lot of
And
it
can
was
I text
face.
them?
Yeah, right?
How am I gonna text them? My fingers don't work.
Yeah.
Ugh,
But
I
yeah, I
don't.
do.
Yeah.
I just did an ice bath on this channel. Actually, anybody wants to go see
Nice
that?
bath is cool.
Yeah,
We did the Wim Hof one way back when. Did you do the breathing
yeah.
stuff too, or did you just get in
No,
there?
I just dove in. I don't know. I feel like I would suck at the breathing thing. I need to focus
The
more.
breathing thing, essentially, you just make yourself hyperventilate a
Yeah.
little bit, and does it clarify your brain? I don't know. Makes your face tingle a little bit, and
Well, I could just take pre-workout.
yeah, dry. I hate how dry scooping pre-workout is like a cool thing to do on TikTok now. It really makes me
Is
crazy.
it really?
Yeah. Like, let's go. Like little dragon puff. And I'm like, this is so
Dragon puff.
stupid, you guys. So
I
stupid.
gotta get on the same TikTok as you. See, everybody has a different one. Christine only sees dogs. Like, if I
Smart.
only knew what TikTok was through her, I would think it was a dog platform for only posting dog things. And then for me, it's only you and Christopher Bill because those are the only people that I like actually physically put likes on. So it just keeps showing me the same, and Brittany too, like the same
Yeah.
3 people.
I'm so sorry. I haven't made a TikTok in like 6 months. I'll get back. I'll get back in it to bless your feed a little bit more.
Thank you. But I imagine you have a bunch of fitness stuff. See, I got to start liking the right thing so it shows me more fitness.
I have a couple of fitness things. And fitness TikTok is like big now. I think people really like learning stuff on TikTok. Cooking recipes is a big one. Fitness. Check out this killer arm workout, and it has like the stuff pop up. I think people just want to learn in 59-second increments.
Right. Well, I also think TikTok is
Or
rewarding
less.
that kind of stuff because they kept getting feedback that people felt like they were wasting time on TikTok. So like, uh-oh, we better teach them something.
Right. Now you're not wasting time. You're learning. You're self-improving.
Yeah, right.
And you can trust this guy because we have no idea, but just trust him because he's on TikTok. The advice sometimes is like pretty crappy.
Pretty bad.
And I'm
Pretty
like, wow,
bad.
geez, I really hope people aren't like following this, but whatever. I guess.
But good for you because you're gonna favorite it and then never do that thing anyway.
Bingo. I did one the other day. I had a rubber band, and it was a elbow one or a shoulder one. It was a rubber band that goes around the outside of your wrist. You put your palms facing each other. Rubber band goes around the outside of your wrist, so it's pulling your hands together. So you're holding them out, so you're twisting your arms.
So what? It's delts.
I think it's supposed to be like it's shoulder elbow, and you just put your arms straight up and down. Like
okay.
And so I think it like stabilizes your rotator cuff or something like that. But I did one, and it felt terrible. Let me tell you.
All right. Well, Christine came across this thing where if you put half an avocado soaking in water, then it'll stay fresh miraculously instead of wrapping it in plastic. And so tried that once, and then it was just soggy avocado and the worst thing ever. And I went back to wrapping it in plastic effectively. But like
just a soggy avocado.
Like, miracle. This hack you didn't know about. That's so fantastic.
Yeah, it veers from one end of the spectrum to the other, right? Like sometimes I'm like, yeah, well, I don't need like 3 pairs of scissors to open an envelope. Like I could just, there you go. That's how you open it. And then other ones are like, did you know that your dishwasher like can step down a half step if you have a really tall glass? And I'm like, wait, what? And then I go and do mine and it works. And I'm like so mind blown that I'm like, at this point, I just want to make sure that I'm like breathing correctly because it's possible that I'm totally missing something like that.
I have to go play.
But yeah, so it really, you gotta, it's hit or miss.
Huh. All right. I feel like we've been pretty thorough on the travel. I mean, is there any other
how to
gems?
be healthy when you travel. So recap: 1, drink a lot of water. 2, don't eat any food ever, period. 3, maybe work out when you land.
Or sleep.
Or work out or sleep. And then 4, make sure you get regular sleep. right?
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
like,
Leave
make
all
sure
your
you
obligations. Like you're going to a
prioritize.
wedding, skip the pre whatever.
Skip the pre what
I don't
workout?
know. What's the thing where you rehearsal? The rehearsal.
The
Skip the
rehearsal
rehearsal
dinner.
dinner so you can sleep more. There we go.
Yeah. Unless you're in the wedding party. What if you're the bride? Can't be skipping the wedding party.
You can't be miserable at your own wedding. Skip the wedding party.
The wedding party is the people. You mean the
Oh, whatever. The party
rehearsal
that is
dinner.
the rehearsal dinner.
The wedding skip the
What
wedding
buddy
party.
like party of 5? That's what wedding party stands for. Who knew?
Who knew? Great show, but who knew?
All right. We made
Okay.
it this far. Then you are awesome, and I imagine that you would love to give us a YouTube comment because we want to hear from you, and you are a total fit head. So let us know if you do anything differently if you're traveling. Are you traveling now, or are you still maxed up and concerned? How's it all looking out there in the fithead universe?
The
And
travel.
also, what? Yeah,
The travel verse.
we haven't even traveled to each other yet.
That's true. I got to try that CBD beer.
Yeah.
Wine. Beer.
It's waiting for you. We're doing it.
It's
Stay tuned for that. We're going to taste CBD beer and see. Yeah, I think it'll be awesome. I'll be very chill. As long as there's no THC, I don't know. I'm concerned.
Spag at that. We got to get you some crack. That's what we need to do. We just have you smoke some crack. Or no, we'll have you do some meth. Because then after that, you won't freak out about anything anymore. Because you're like, well, it couldn't be as bad as that meth. You know what I mean?
Just have a drug measuring stick. That's awful. All right. And also, please rate and review on Apple Podcasts. That's so huge for all podcasts. It would make a huge difference for us. Because then, like, there's the only way to know if a podcast is successful is its rates and reviews. And so if you're listening, we heart you. Come say hey.
5 stars.